All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is go back to our add a document page. And what I want to do is show you how to add a document by uploading a PDF and also by using a web page. So to do this, we're going to have to add two different API calls that are going to convert our PDF into a text so that we can do this same process essentially. And then same for the web page. We're going to have to convert the web page into text. So it's just that one extra step. And once we do that, we're going to upload it in the exact same way. So it's really pretty simple. A lot of the hard work is out of the way. So first, let's go back to Bubble. And let's go to our plugins. And we're going to collapse all of our API calls here. So we have OpenAI and we have Pinecone. So the API that I found works well, and there could be others as well that get this job done. But the one that I found is called Rapid API. So Rapid API. So here I am. I'm on rapidapi.com. Go ahead and create an account. So click sign up. And you should be able to do this all for free on the free tier of Rapid API. And once you sign in, here you are in their dashboard. And this is where you can connect to a lot of different APIs. So it's also just a really cool site that I found that you can use to build all sorts of apps in Bubble with their API calls. But we're going to search for PDF to text converter. So PDF to text converter, you can see it has good ratings, good service level. And now what we're going to do is get the information that we need to set it up correctly. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is go ahead. We're just going to use the default application. We're going to set up our test endpoint here. The parameters, we can leave this. This is your API key. And then the X Rapid API host, this is the string here and the headers. And we'll get this. I'll show you how to copy and paste this into Bubble. We want to use form data for media types, and we need to do a required parameter, which is the PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and download the Bitcoin PDF white paper. So you can get to this pretty easily just by going to bitcoin.org or searching for the Bitcoin white paper PDF. And I'm just going to go ahead and download it. So now I downloaded that PDF, and I'm going to upload it here as a file. Okay, so I uploaded it, and now I'm going to go back to the top and click test endpoint. And there we go. So I can see it was successful, and it responded with the text here. Okay, great. So now we're going to go ahead and actually set it up again. So we're going to go back to code snippets. Go here on the left side, or on the top left of the code snippets. Go to HTTP and click HTTP/1.1. And this is going to give us some of that data that we're going to need to set up our API call. Okay, so we're in Rapid API. We're going to add all of the headers here in the actual API call itself. So what I'm going to do is call this PDF to text, use it as an action. The data type is actually a text data type. So we're going to get a text response, not a JSON response. The URL is a post, and I'm going to go back here and I can see it's post. Okay, so then on the top left here under code snippets, we want to go and click actually the shell and a CURL. This is what we want to do. So now we have the URL. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that entire URL there. Go back and paste that in under post here. We're going to add the headers. So header here, it's X Rapid API host. So go ahead and paste that in as a header. We're going to go back and get PDF to text converter. Paste that as a value. So you can see here we have our header and value pairs here. Now the API key. Go ahead and put that as a header. Okay, great. And then one more, content type. And then in the value, go ahead here, multipart/form data. Okay, great. So those are the headers. And now the body type is going to be form data. So we're going to add a parameter. And the parameter is going to be called file. Just file here we can see. We're going to say send file. So the value is upload, uncheck private, just like we've done with everything else. And then what we can do is upload that same Bitcoin PDF. And we can go ahead and click initialize call. And there we go. We get the response, which is the text that we need. Okay, great. And then I'm also just going to show you how to, if we want to change the authentication to private key and header, we can do that. We can get that rapid API key, put that into the key name, and then the value, go ahead and put that into value on key value and development value. And then I can delete that out of the header there. And then we can go ahead and reinitialize the call and it'll work again. So that's a way to put that private key in header. So you can either do that, or you should also be able to keep it as a private header here in the API call itself. So either way should work. Just wanted to kind of show you the different ways to do that. Okay, so now that we set up the PDF to text, I want to do one more API call while we're kind of doing API calls. And for this, we're going to use an API called Extractor API, which is going to allow us to extract the text out of a web page. So I'm going to add a URL. It's going to be called Extractor API. So here we are on extractorapi.com. And as you can see, you can get 1,000 requests for free. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and you can sign up, and then we'll meet you in the dashboard. Okay, so here we are on the dashboard, and this is just a really cool little tool that's going to allow us to extract URLs. So here we have our API key, the sample extractor code, and I'll show you how to use this API. So go to the top, go to Resources and API Documentation. We want to search for Extractor, and this is what we want to use. We want to use this Extractor API call. And all we need here is the API key and the URL. Those are the two required fields. The rest are not required. There's also cool things you can do, like translate if you want in paid plans. But for us, we just want to get the text out of the website. Okay, so we can see that it is a get, not a post. So what that means with a get is all the data is going to be in the URL. So it's going to be really simple here. So we want to go to the HTTP IE here. And what I want to do is copy. I'm just going to click copy because I really just want that URL. I don't need HTTP get, but I just want that URL here. Go back to Bubble. So the Extractor API, the API call, which is going to say web to text. I'm going to use it as an action. This data type is JSON. So it's get, and I'm going to paste that all in, except I'm going to delete everything before that HTTPS. I'm going to delete the quotation. So here you can see we're going to put the API key in the URL, and then NURL equals example URL. So here, as Bubble shares right next to it, these brackets, I'm going to say URL, is where I can add in that dynamic value in the URL. So the URL, uncheck private. Now I need to get my API key. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard here. Just copy the API key. And I'm going to paste that in. Okay, great. So now I'm pasting that in. We have the URL, the value. The value is just going to be a URL. So why don't I just go ahead and put one in. I'll get a Wikipedia page. And here I'm on the Wikipedia page for the NBA. I'm going to go ahead and copy it. And now I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. Uncheck private because we want to be able to access this from our workflows. And I'm going to click initialize call. And here we go. We know it was successful because we got returned values. If I show raw data, here we can see the text. And here we go. This is all of the text inside of our Wikipedia page here. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. So now we have the API calls for a PDF through Rapid API and a website to text through Extractor API. So these are two APIs. I did research and found that they worked. It's a little tricky for PDFs and things like that to find one that works. But these do work. And again, you could potentially use other APIs as well.